It's midnight at a resort rooftop lounge. The noise of a crowded room slowly fades away, leaving only two people standing close together in the quiet tension of an isolated conversation. When two people share a mutual attraction, they create a form of potential energy. It exists invisibly between them, thick with possibility, but completely devoid of physical motion. Most of the time, that potential energy stays entirely trapped. In a busy room, these moments often end simply because both individuals choose to remain completely passive. But if the attraction is exactly equal on both sides, why does moving the interaction forward depend entirely on a single person's drive? This schematic visualizes the emotional physics of a stalemate. We have two identical nodes separated by a wide gap. Both hold equal potential energy, but a connecting bridge cannot physically be built from both sides at the exact same split second. Instead, people hesitate. They wait for a clear sign. They overthink the lighting, the music, the people nearby, and let the silence stretch out until the window of opportunity simply closes. Mutual feeling without unilateral action operates like a vacuum. Without a spark of motion, the result is strictly a missed connection. To understand how to break this stalemate, we can look at the ISCO project, a behavioral framework classifying distinct human social dynamics. They label this specific scenario as interaction type 2, or polar progression. The first half of the polar progression equation relies entirely on solitary momentum. One person has to gather the gumption to take the lead. In our rooftop setting, it looks exactly like this, stepping out of the shadows and asking the other person to move to a private area. The leader takes on the social burden of the first move, the vulnerability of suggesting a change in environment, and the immediate possibility of a verbal no in front of others. If one person possesses this active trait, does that mean they are doing all the work for both individuals? This single move initiates a state of harmonious asymmetry. It is the necessary catalyst that allows the interaction to transition into its next phase. To see why that asymmetry works, we have to look away from the leader and focus completely on the second person in the conversation. This individual holds the receptive trait. In practice, this is the critical ability to hear the leader's suggestion and follow it immediately, without a single moment of hesitation. Back to our schematic. If the active partner provides the spark, extending a directional vector, the receptive partner provides the oxygen. The receptive node locks on to the incoming vector, absorbing the momentum without resistance, reinforcing the thin line into a solid bridge. Ultimate success demands both roles executing their parts perfectly. A leader cannot successfully guide an interaction if the follower pauses, questions the move, or shows physical resistance. This specific synchronization, taking an emotional risk and meeting it with immediate validation, is what creates the momentum. The immediate result is a quiet exit. The two individuals step away together, leaving the noise of the crowded lounge entirely behind them. This leaves us with a final question. Does a successful night happen simply because one person has an inherent drive that the other lacks? Social transitions rarely survive a requirement for perfectly timed simultaneous effort. Waiting for both parties to act at once usually results in a stalemate. Polar progression is a temporary, highly effective division of labor. It assigns the risk to the person best equipped to initiate, and the validation to the person ready to accept it. The sequence is seamless. One leads, the other follows. The silence breaks, the physical gap closes, and the connection secures itself in a matter of seconds. The mechanics of solitary momentum are what bridge the physical gap, turning a conversation into a shared reality.